Hey, how are you guys? Today we're going to take a look at the brand new Masters of the Universe multiverse Princess of Power She-Ra. And as you can see, here she is in all of her She-Ra glory in the window box packaging, which I don't know if this will continue moving forward with the other He-Man figures and with Mattel, but they seem to be the only ones that are keeping the window box plastic in their packaging. And again, it's in the same style and aesthetic as other Motu, Masterverse, and Revelation figures. This is a deluxe size box, as you can see, and it doesn't seem to warrant much to consider a deluxe figure, but I have a feeling it's because you basically have two She-Ra figures in this deluxe set in one, and you'll see what I mean as I review and unbox the figure. So on the top you'll see it says still multiverse, 30 points for articulation, the logo for the classic style Princess of Power, vintage actually. Once on the corner, beautiful artwork here of She-Ra lofting her sword, as you can see there. Whoop, all the way to the top, going to the bottom, very nice. And in the back, a wonderful, wonderful and beautiful illustration of Swiftwind and She-Ra. And this is Swiftwind in the actual vintage style toy motif, which is not the common one that people love, because people like the one from the She-Ra cartoon, which was made by Classics, obviously. But in any case, this Swiftwind looks incredible and really beautiful, and quite possibly there might be a sneak peek at a possible release at Swiftwind this color, just so that they can keep it a little different with the Masterverse line. And then you see it says little bios. When Adora rises the sword of protection above her head and cries for the honor of Grayskull, she transforms into She-Ra, Princess of Power and leader of Etheria's Great Rebellion. And then you see down here, this is the cross-sell for the figures of this way: Zodak, Katra, Hordak. I don't really consider these two guys and gentlemen for He-Man and Skeletor from the 3D CGI part of He-Man, because I really despise that cartoon, regardless of what people think and say. I think it's just a woke propaganda nonsense. There it is, She-Ra, Princess, most powerful woman in the universe. And She-Ra is He-Man's sister. One thing to note, when you open these figures at the tab there, it says by the power of Grayskull on the inside, just in case you guys never seen that or knew, or even just paid attention. So we're going to take her out of this packaging and let her loose and relieve her from her packaging prison and see what she has to offer, and see how good she is, or how bad she is, or maybe how mediocre she might be. Either way, we're going to find out. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourself a digital drink, and hopefully you'll join me for the entire unboxing, review, and figure ride. So I'll see you guys real soon, in a blink of an eye. Okay guys, and here we are. Here are some of the accessories, or all the accessories she came with. And I mean, to be honest, the accessories are more like an extra set of clothing to actually give her another form, and to be quite frank. But as far as accessories, she has the beautiful shield with the blue pearl, and it has almost like that translucent plastic going for it. It's like throws off like a bluish type of blend and overwash wash on the actual shield, which looks really good. And then her sword of power with the gem and blue there. which is a skinnier version of He-Man's sword, and it does have a nice, silver, gunmetal silver look to it. Then she brings a second set of hands, which in this case is a fist and a gripping hand. Then she brings an extra portrait, which this is more modernized take on the portrait itself, but it almost like a second form for her with the hair splayed out, really nice. And this tiara is basically the one that she had in the vintage, but upside down, and is made to make her look more badass, in my opinion, to be honest, with the white eyes and all that. But this was a new touch that they did Mattel for this Princess of Power line within the masterverse. And she brings another cape, which is more elongated shoulders with the heart shape there in the front, and the cape is much longer to give her another form, as I just said previously. So she comes with a nice amount of accessories, but I don't think it's enough to warrant her as a deluxe set. I think they went with the deluxe set size because it's cloth goods, and technically it's basically two figures in one. So that will depend on you as a consumer if it's worth your money and price point to pick up, because she is a little bit higher in price at $29.99. So let's keep going and let's check her out with some of these accessories. But before we do that, let's take a look at what type of articulation she actually has. And here we are, guys. Here we have She-Ra, Princess of Power, in all of her glory, out of box. And as you can see, she's standing tall, she's standing well, and standing quite possibly as beautiful as ever. So here we go. Take a closer look. We'll start off with her head portrait, and I really think they nailed her head portrait. It's a really pretty, really nice interpretation and face, portrait of She-Ra. Her tiara going up with the gem of power in the top, going down with the scaling of her hair. You see it's a nice orangey yellow with some wash in it. You see the choker and her actual throat or neck, because it's what holds her cape. Her cape is a nice wine red, and it's in material form, which is very nice. And one of the first times that you see her like this, I believe, since the vintage that was cloth goods, classics and Filmation, and even 2000X, the Comic-Con exclusive, which I have also. She had it like this in 2000X for sure. So, and as you can see, she has a nice eyeline in purple, her eyes, the blue eyes, the lips painted in white, the teeth filled in white. Very nice skin, and then you see her skin tone's nice and matte. And then you see her forearm gauntlets, that nice artwork and design they drew inside, right? And you see here the crest, or what's supposed to look like looks like almost an image of Crystal Castle, or it always looked like that to me. With the blue pearl, and then she has the nice wings here on the side area on the top of her breast, with the little bit of cleavage there, and even in the indications of her neck bone line, her collarbone, you see, with their throat. Really nice little details like that stand out. And then you see her belt with the lightning going across, which is really, really nice, all the way to the back. Then her actual shirt and skirt piece, which is almost like a tiara shirt type of, dress, with a nice ivory white. And then the other gauntlet again, that nice design on the forearm gauntlet. Then her legs again bare by her thighs with a nice matte finish, going into her boots, which start by her, her knees, by the shin guard, and you see that it has that nice design on it as well, going across, and also on the other side. So aesthetically, she looks very, very pretty and stunning. Very much She-Ra, one of the probably nicest looking She-Ra in 6-inch form in a long time. I mean, I have all of them. I have the Mega Construct. I believe there's no, they don't have a loyal subject. The mini one I never got, even though some people got their hands on them because they were selling them on Amazon. I do have the 2000X Comic-Con exclusive one, which I probably could get my hands on because I believe it's close by. And then I had the Filmation one, and of course the Masterverse Classics. So now let's take a look at her accessories. Alright guys, here we are. Let's start with She-Ra's articulation. So her head goes left, right, and then it looks down, very minimal, not much at all. And then back, it does lean back a little bit, but because of the hair being so long and elongated and thick, and in the way that it's sculpted, it doesn't really give you room or wiggle room to actually, articulate it down or up very well. So it's kind of very limited, but it is the nature of how the figure is designed. Now, her elbows and shoulders rather go up about that much. Does have the 180 degrees, obviously. So the bicep swivel. It has the double on the elbow, like you see here. Double on the elbow. The double on the elbow. Then it has a hinge on the wrist that swivels and then hinges in and out on this side. And then on this side also hinges in and out as well. Yes, and then on the torso area, on the upper torso, it has the cut where you have like a ball joint. It does go, forward, back a little, then, side to side. Then this part here, by the skirt and the waist, is all one piece, but she does have, waist swivel underneath. Then, you can do the 100 Van Damme split. Does it really well. And then the thighs swivel, the double on the knee. Then the boot has a cut as well. And then the foot goes back that much, forward that much, and then it has the rocker. So as far as the articulation goes, with She-Ra, there's some limitations in comparisons to other Masterverse due to the nature of her sculpt and her hair design and things like that, and the costume that she has. But for the most part, it is par for the course in comparison to other figures. So There we have She-Ra right there. Bye-bye. Let's stand her up like so. She's about to fall. Anyway, here you go. So there she goes. So again, really, she's really cool, and I think you can get her in some dynamic poses as long as you can play with her. It's just hard to do it while you're recording. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. So now let's put on her accessories and see what she looks like with her sword and shield. And here we have her with her sword and shield, which are her weapons and accessories. And she looks great, you know, with the cloth cape. I wish that it was a little longer, but again, this is classic She-Ra at her finest. You know, people, I think, that missed out with, you know, classic She-Ra, and even missed out with the Filmation version in Super 7. Once they get their hands on her, they're going to be delighted, and I think they're going to fill the void, because she's a very, very, very good interpretation of She-Ra. And I'm almost into that fine line that she's the superior version out of all of them, even though all of them have, you know, some very nice, unique things to offer. So now let's also check her out with the other dress option that they gave you, just to see the differences. And here you go, guys. Here she is with her alternate look. And I'm kind of conflicted because I think this way she looks really badass. She has the long cape. She has the tiara upside down, but with the whited eyes. And then she has that nice shoulder-plated piece on the top of her shoulders with the shoulder plate. I just think she looks more modern and yet more badass at the same time. The cape is longer, as you can see, and it's also cloth goods. I don't know, guys. It's hard because she has such a pretty face with the regular portrait as well. You know, like, as we know, you know, this is the portrait. Looks really good, but this right here is pretty dope. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep her, but she definitely looks good. So it's almost like having two She-Ra figs in one. That's what I said earlier in the beginning of the review. So maybe you guys might want to pick up two of them just for the sake of having both options displayed in different scenes on your shelves. And it would not, you know, surprise me, because she just looks that good. So now let's do a couple of comparisons. And so here we are with the first comparison. Obviously, these are the She-Ras that I have at hand. I don't have the Filmation or the classics on hand, even though I do own them. They're put away. But I do have that little Mega Construct one that came with the set. And you can see that all the same, familiarities that you see with She-Ra. You can immediately know that it's She-Ra, and it evokes that is her. And then this is the 2000X, which looks good scope-wise, and it has like real hair and all that stuff, as you see there. The face is decent enough. This is an Comic-Con exclusive, but you know, and the cape has all glitter on it and stuff, and you know, the way the boots look and stuff. But because they were pre-sculpted, they really, really suck. Really bad. When you want to stand them up to kind of like pose them, it's almost damn near impossible. So, you know, that's the only thing, because she'll stay in that pose, that's it. You can't do nothing else really with it. Even though the arms articulate and the head articulates, you know, they're very limited. So, there are the comparisons that I have from the She-Ras that I have at hand that I own. Next we have, and here we have She-Ra next to the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 40th anniversary He-Man. As you can see, has a bigger box, a little broader, has the old school head just to fine tune. And she is also next to the Masters of the Universe Classics from Matty Collector, Merman. And I have the alternate head that came with it, which is part of the card back, as we all know. And here she is next to the Shadow Ninja from, I believe, was Econ or PC Toys, I believe. And then from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, a White Ninja Ranger from Hasbro. They are a little bit smaller in scale, but you can see the differences in how she looks like with different scales. Even though she's 7-inch, she's smaller because Masterverse is a 7-inch line. And here we have her next to the McFarlane Toys Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Loyal Subjects Tila from the mini line, and next to the Gundam Universe from Bandai, Burning Gundam. As you can see, 3 different toy lines, different characters, but yet still look very nice together, which would display very well on a toy show. So now let's get to my final thoughts of the review. So here we go, guys. She-Ra on the spinner. So what do I think and feel about this figure? I think she's absolutely gorgeous, and I think Mattel really is at their highest point and mark right now with these Masters of the Universe, Revelation, and Multiverse figures. I feel that they're really trying to encapsulate the same magic that we felt several years back when we were collecting classics through Matty Collector. But obviously with their take, a little modernization, and also respecting the original source. Like I said, the articulation points, the pinless joints, the options of doing multiple displaying options with them, from making them look more modern to the classics. This She-Ra feels a lot more like Beastman did, where you can do several looks to him with the different accessories and clothing that she brung. So I give her a thumbs up, a must own for your collection. And we, as Masters of the Universe fans, should feel fortunate and very lucky that we had another opportunity to get our hands on a She-Ra figure, for example, because a lot of people were not able to get classics or all the figures from classics, or had to sell them for some reason at some point. So this is a great opportunity to be able to pick up a new She-Ra doll that's a great representation, that's just as good, if not better, than classics was, at a great price point. Because she is a deluxe figure, but it's still not a bad price. She's priced at $29.99. So basically about $30, but she comes with the extra hands, accessories, and clothing, and portrait. So you have multiple display options. You might even want to have 2 of her. So that's my review, guys. Here you have it, the Masters of the Universe Multiverse Princess of Power, She-Ra. And again, I really think that even though they're trying to say this is paying the homage to Princess of Power, the actual vintage collection that looks more like an amalgamation of Filmation and the toy line, like they did with Katra, and like you guys will see with Hordak. I still think this is kind of like New Eternia also, because with her other look, she looks very, very updated and modernized, even though she still feels and stay true to the classic look. So give a thumbs up, guys, if you like the review. A thumbs down if you didn't like the review. Share this video with someone you think might enjoy it and like it. And as always, you guys can always find me in all the social media platforms like Twitter or Instagram. It's all down in the description below. Or if you guys ever want to help me out in any way, shape, or form to better my channel, or just because of the kindness of your heart, because you like what I do, there is a way you can do it and help me, and that is with my Patreon and PayPal. Information down in the description below. As also, and well, if you guys ever want to make a donation to the channel, or want me to highlight something, review it, or showcase it like I do here, it would be an honor and it will be a pleasure for me to do so. All you have to do is hit me up on one of those DMs on these social media platforms, and we'll work out the particulars there. So guys, this is your host T-Bot signing off with another episode of Toys in My Closet. Keep collecting, have fun doing it. Remember, be considerate to others, because we're still in trying times while we're having fun. I'll see you then, guys. Until the next one.